Hi there, I'm Egfer, and today I want to show you something that I don't think has ever been done in Minecraft, or at least I haven't been able to find any examples. There's quite a few Minecrafts out there though, so who knows. If you've seen one before, let me know in the comments.
Okay, what are you talking about?
Well, it's a variable ratio perfect n to m item splitter.
What's one of those then?
It takes input of items from a hopper line and sends them to two different hopper lines at a ratio that you can define. And it's perfect because it always splits them exactly, regardless of when the items arrive. Also, it runs at hop speed. And there's plenty of examples of 50-50 item splitters, and mine can do that as well. And some n to 1 item splitters, and mine can do that, but faster than the ones I've found. But nothing I've found as n to m. Anyway, I'll show it to you in a moment. But before I show you, I just want to say that this was really painful to design. I banged my head against several walls, I cried in the corner, I screamed for help, and eventually I was dragged into a dark pit of despair trying to get it to work reliably. Okay, I might be exaggerating just a little bit, but with some persistence and, let's be honest, a little bit of luck, I eventually emerged triumphant from that pit, dragging this beast behind me. And here it is. It's 6 by 6 by 5. I wanted it smaller. I wanted it to look more symmetrical. But more than anything, I want it to work, and it does. So I'll show you how it runs, I'll break down the logic behind it, and then we'll go step by step through how to build your own. And if you're here just for the build tutorial, there's a timestamp on screen, so you can dive right in.
Okay, so let's dive straight in.
Okay, so let's see it in action. And the way it's set up is in this hopper here, I've got a number of items. I've got two different sets of stackable items and a non-stackable in the middle. And the way it splits is the first set of stackable items plus the non-stackable, that's 9. And then going the other way will be 11, the second set of stackable items. So that is a split. 9 to 11 is a split you need for a kelp farm in order to get enough kelp blocks, which you will use as fuel for your furnace to make more kelp. And what we can do is we put our items in here. The first set will come out this way, the second set will come out this way. Of course, you can extend these hopper lines, all of these hopper lines can extend. But let's put some items in here and we will watch it working. So if I look in here, you can see I should get 9 items. And then down here, I should get 11. And then the next set of 9 come up here. And this should go to 22. And this one to 27. And then to 33. And that is all of our items. So you see it does that split perfectly. That's with the items coming in at a constant hop speed. Okay, so that's great if we have all of our items arriving at ordinary hop speed. What if I don't? So what I've done here is I've set up a clock, which is going to slow down the inputs from the hopper. And I've also added a randomizer circuit, which means that that clock is going to become unpredictable in how it behaves. So that should be a good test for us. And I'm going to put a load of items into here and we're going to watch them go through, except I'm not actually going to make you watch them all go through because it can take a little while. You can see that the items come through at, well, let's look in here. You see the items fall through at a slightly different pace, so they're not always consistent. There we go. So going fairly consistently at the moment. Let's slow this down a little bit as well so we can play around with it. And yeah, you can see items going through slower than hop speed and sometimes a little bit faster as well. There we go. So we'll let that go through and I'll rejoin you in a moment. Okay, so I'm back and we're coming up towards the end now and we should get to 27 here and then down to 33 here. And you can see that all of the items have been split exactly as we would expect, hence the name Perfect Item Splitter. And that should be similar to what you might get from some farms where not all the items arrive at a constant speed into the system. So I want to talk a little bit about the concept behind the design over there. And essentially, the idea is that if you have a hopper and you have an item in it, then obviously a comparator will light up and that will power. And with one item, power signal strength 1. Up to 46 items, so actually 45 items, it'll power to signal strength 2. And a 46th item will bring it up to signal strength 3. But if you put a non-stackable, it instantly goes to signal strength 3. So my idea was that I can set it up a bit like this, where I've got up to 45 items, but it could be a lot less. So let's say we've just got 4 there. When a non-stackable arrives, this signal strength will always achieve at least 3, could be higher. And then you could have another set of items. And when these drain out again, then it doesn't fall below 3 until the non-stackable item comes out. So if we put that into a hopper clock, so let's just going to move these across to here so they're all together, like this. So this hopper clock is locked by the lever at the moment, but I've got a set of items, then I've got a non-stackable, and then another set of items. Then you can see that because my bed is on the right hand side at the moment, then the signal strength is at least 3. And if I unlock the hopper, they'll start to drain out. And as soon as the bed leaves, it'll drop below 3 and it'll go up to 3 on this side, right? So these comparators are reading the hoppers. But otherwise, this is a normal ether hopper clock. And this will go backwards and forwards. And if we can only unlock this hopper at the same time as an item arrives from our item stream that we want to split, then those items will go through at exactly the same pace as our items, and it'll act as a kind of a counter. So that should be easy to do because the items are arriving through hoppers, and hopper clocks work out hopper speed. So they should match up as long as we unlock this at the right time. So that's all well and good, except that what you'll find is that we now want to use the signals from these comparators to decide whether or not an item goes through one stream or the other. And we're doing that by having a set of hoppers like this with, let's say, a container that they're pointing into. So it's not actually going to be a dropper, it'd be a barrel or another hopper. So they'll point it to that. If this hopper is locked, then items will go this way. And if this hopper is unlocked, then items will come this way. So if we can use these signals to unlock this middle hopper at the right time, then we are in good shape. But the problem is that, well, first of all, we would want to reduce signal strength. So it only comes up, let me grab a crafter. So it only comes on when the signal strength is at least 3. And we can do that just by putting comparator into the side with signal strength 3. Same on the other side, like this. 1, 2, 3. And now you'll see that it comes on to the full signal strength of at least 3 each time. So it's coming up to 4, drops down to 3, then this one will come up to 4. So that's a good start, except that we can't use these signals to decide when to lock this hopper because there's always one of them on. But what we can do is if we can use this redstone block to decide which one stays on, we can turn one off when items are moving one way and turn the other one off when items are moving the other way. That gets us what we need. And if we go and look at this system over here, that's why these rather messy redstone lines exist underneath here, because when the redstone block comes across here, it'll light this redstone line. And when it's here, it'll light the redstone, which is on top of this block. And those lines come up along here, up here, so through that glass, onto here, and they will turn off that comparator. So this is our signal strength. It was 3, but we've actually used 4 here because we want to make sure that this will be 4, so this will be 3. And we've also got this one from the redstone block, which will turn it off when the items are moving in a particular direction. And then we can use these two comparators to turn off this middle hopper that we talked about. And that gives us exactly what we need. So that is basically the whole system. It's otherwise fairly simple. The main problem I had really was timing, because you cannot have a delay in this line, which is coming from the redstone block. And different hopper clock designs have different delays, and that breaks the system. I have to use an actual redstone dust line here. And also, there's some hopper update order issues with these, so I had to lock both of these hoppers. This torch is locking the top hopper, the redstone dust is locking the middle hopper, to add a delay. So we detect an item coming into the top, and that will power this redstone dust, which unpowers this torch and unlocks these two hoppers at just the right time for the items to go in the right direction, and account for the delay in this circuit here with the torch unlocking the hopper clock. Okay, so that's it. That's how it works. Let's go and build it. Things you'll need for the build are in this chest. So pause video, take a look at that. You might need more or fewer hoppers, and you may or may not need the barrels, depending on how you want to set it up. But that's everything that you need. So I'm going to grab a copy of that chest and all of those items. Okay, so probably the most important consideration when you're building this is where your item stream is coming in from and where your item stream is going out. And the way I've designed this is that we will start with our outbound item streams here and here. And I want a couple of hoppers coming back from those. Like so. Hopper pointing down in the middle there. And our incoming item stream will be coming from this direction like this. So you see the arrows kind of indicate how the items move. They come in at this level, they go around, back out. And one stream will come out here, one stream down there. Okay, let's put a barrel here, which represents our input. Obviously, you might not have that. You might just be bringing it in from a farm or something. Then we want to go to this middle hopper here, put a solid block against that there, put a comparator here with another solid block on its nose, come down diagonally like that. We don't need that one. Put dust here, put a solid block on the side of the comparator, and we want a torch here, a glass block below that with redstone dust on it, like so. Put a torch on top of here, and we're going to come round by 1, 2, 3, and then back across by 2 blocks, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, by another 2 blocks. So these 2 blocks are going to be above the hoppers on our hopper clock. So let's start with those. Put a temporary block just here. Put a hopper pointing into that. Come around the other side. Put a hopper facing back into the first one. It look like that now. Then we're going to have a redstone block under here. Come out by 1 block. Place a crafter just there. Break that temporary block. And then we want a piston. So piston pushing against the redstone block there. Come out by 2. Put another crafter here. Break those 2. And 1 more piston. Put a comparator on top of this piston, 1 on top of this piston, and dust on top of each of the crafters. And whilst we're here, let's set these crafters to have 4 slots covered up. It doesn't matter which 4. You can do it in a pre-pattern if you like. It's up to you. But they do need to have 4 covered up like that. Okay, we want to come down and out 1 from the crafter. And same on this side. Oops. Down and out 1. And we're going to put a comparator on each of these getting lost there. A comparator on each of those, like so. Come forwards by 1 and put dust on top of those 2. Then we want solid blocks in front of these 2 hoppers. And we want to come diagonally down like so. So we're sort of stepping down. And here you'll want to have on top of those 2 blocks just placed. Down here we want comparators. So those comparators are reading the hoppers through these solid blocks in the middle. And those comparators also the ones which are going to lock this hopper here. Put redstone dust all the way along here. And we want a glass block. You can use a top slab if you want, next to the block the comparators are on. Same on this side. Put redstone dust on top of the glass blocks. And you see that this redstone connects up to that now. Okay, so there's one final thing we need to do, and that is we need to take power from this redstone block here. So we want to come down 2 blocks from there. If a redstone block is over this side, it doesn't matter. You just need to still put this block in the same position. And we're going to come across to the side and then forwards by 2. Put redstone dust on all of that. And you'll see it connects up here through this glass block, through the corner of a glass block there, and then into the side of a comparator. And we're going to do roughly the same thing over here, but this time we want to have our block here. So we don't need those 2. So when the redstone block comes across, it'll power dust on top of this one, just there. So now we want to step down diagonally to the right, like so, and 1 across. Put dust on top of those 2. And again, we're just finding a way of routing the dust so it doesn't interfere with the pistons or the comparators or anything else. But it will still connect up through here to the side of this comparator. And that is our build more or less done. All we need to do now is set it up in the way we want it. Okay, and to set it up, you can start with the hopper that's got the redstone block underneath, doesn't really matter. And what we need to do is we need to get some items and particularly a non-stackable item. And you can decide now what sort of split you want between the items. The most you can go up to is 46 to 45. So your stackable items, you can't have more than 45 of those. You're always going to have a non-stackable in the middle, and then you can decide how you want to split it. So if I do 3 and then the non-stackable, that will always send 4 one way. So the non-stackable always goes to the first set of stackable items. And then if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so now it'll send 4 one way and 7 the other way. And we can test it out. So that's 11. Let's take 22 as a test. I put 22 items in here. We should see that our first 4 go that way, and then 7 this way, and 4 this way, and 7 this way. So that is matching what we had in here, 4 and 7. And that's it. It's a fully reliable, perfect end-to-end item splitter for Bedrock Edition. I hope you like it. And if you can use it for like a kelp farm or something like that, then great. Do let me know in the comments if you find a purpose for this and what you use it for, because I'm really interested to hear. But otherwise, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.